Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Dear students and faculty members and others who are present, I'm really delighted and honored to be speaking to all of you. It's not the first time that I'm addressing and engaging with the students at LUMS. I wish I was there in person, but given the fact that currently in the US, it is the best way possible to speak to you. And, the topic chosen for this event and this conference is really, really important. It's something that is not only experienced worldwide, but our lives and the way we understand the world, the way we are informed or inform others, is being shaped by technology, and in particular, the power and perils of digital journalism. So, let me begin by saying that uh, uh, in the journalism profession and also our world, the transformative role of digital platforms is reshaping journalism. It's no longer the same as we knew maybe a decade ago or 2 decades ago. And it is also influencing activism, public narratives. And as aspiring journalists, I guess all of you stand at that intersection of an era where the digital revolution is redefining on how we report, how we inform, how we resist, and how we engage with the world. But of course, with power of technology and the ability to use new media technologies comes great responsibility and, of course, significant challenges. Let's begin with the power and perils of digital journalism. Digital platforms have democratized news reporting in ways we could have never imagined. Today, anyone with a smartphone can break a story, document an event, or expose an unjust event or a particular excess by state agencies. For example, in Pakistan, during the devastating 2022 floods, it was citizen journalists and activists on social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube as well, who brought the crisis to the world's attention, forcing mainstream media and the government to act, to respond. Similarly, in India, during the farmers' protest of 2020 and 2021, social media became a vital tool for protesters to share their stories and counter government narratives. But this opening up and democratization comes at a cost. The speed of digital journalism often sacrifices accuracy. And that's why the good old school principles of verification, of accuracy, of checking your sources apply, even in the case of social media. For instance, misinformation and fake news these days spread like wildfire, and especially in South Asia, in Pakistan and India, where digital literacy remains low, even though people are using their phones, even though they have access to the internet, but the media literacy, which a lot of you are engaged in now as part of your academic training, but hopefully in your future careers as well. That is something that we really have to focus on in countries like Pakistan, particularly right from school level, not just in college, because how to sift fact from fiction, how to detect, fake images or doctored images, or even ideas and facts which have been doctored, requires a decent level of knowledge and familiarization with these technologies. Um, for example, in Pakistan, false narratives about political figures or even national security or religious groups go viral, and they end up, exacerbating social tensions. In India, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Misinformation about fake cures and conspiracy theories spread rapidly on WhatsApp, leading to a public health crisis. And in the United States, where I am currently, and I've been teaching here for more than 11 years now, and we were covering the impact of fake news or disinformation in the 2016 elections, for example. The disinformation campaigns, allegedly with foreign actors and some domestic groups, they use social media to manipulate public opinion. In Brazil's 2018 presidential election, WhatsApp was flooded with fake news, much of it targeting left wing candidates and favoring Bolsonaro, who then was elected as the prime minister. And that is why fact checking initiatives are very important alongside mainstream or alternative news media. So there are fact check groups in Pakistan, there's alt news in India. I really recommend all of you to try and look at that. There's Pointer in the US, and they're doing important work. But all of these efforts and initiatives are struggling to keep up with the volume, the barrage of disinformation. As future journalists, we must ask ourselves, how do we balance speed with accuracy? How do we ensure that our work upholds the truth in the age of information overload? Even I've made mistakes on Twitter, a couple of times. But while editing newspapers and websites, now it has become a really specialized field, and perhaps a lot of my time in the recent years has been spent on checking, and double checking a lot of information that comes through social media platforms. Now, let's also talk a bit about algorithms. As you all know, how journalism and big tech is reshaping journalism and information business. Facebook is not a media platform, but it is a big source of news. X by itself is not a gate kept or verified or verifiable media outlet. It's a technology platform, and but it is contributing to both how information is disseminated, but also activism. So that is where I think been a sea change. Even in the last 2 decades, I've seen it grow and grow, how social media is becoming a powerful tool for grassroots movements, enabling them to organize, amplify their voices, and demand change. When I moved here to the United States in 2014, and I witnessed this. It was the same year when Black Lives Matter movement was gaining global traction, and in the US as well, with hashtags like BLM or Say Her Name. And they rallied millions to protest police brutality and systemic racism. In Pakistan later, as you all may have seen, movements like Pashtun Tahaffuz Movement, PTM, or the Aurat March, or even climate-related activism have used digital platforms to challenge injustices and hold the powerful institutions to account. And so this has been a real change, and I think that is somewhere my optimism and faith in the future of social media lies. I think this term keyboard warriors is where has gained traction in popular parlance. I think it's rather unfair, because what we see that social media enables a lot of people to say what they believe in and to challenge things that historically, when I was your age or a student, it was not possible because we did not have these tools. So, and there are many other examples, of how, these algorithmic age is contributing to activism. In Brazil, for example, activists use social media to protest deforestation in the Amazon. And Amazon, remember, is the lungs of the world, and the government's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. I would have not found out, we would have not known what was happening in the Amazon, rainforests had there been no social media and visual testimonies of a major crisis for the globe itself. Um, but of course, I mean, that's the upside. The activism in digital age is not without its challenges. Algorithms prioritize engagement, but they also amplify polarization or sensationalism. This can lead to what is known as slacktivism, where likes and shares don't translate into real world action as well. Worse still, activists face online harassment, doxing, and even physical violence. In Pakistan, for example, female activists like those who were involved in Aurat March have faced vicious online attacks. And related to this, so perhaps the response by the state, which in Pakistan's case is so given to censorship and surveillance, that, they have really, really intensified those efforts. And it's not just Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in India, it's the same, trend. So, for example, in the Pakistan Telecommunications Authority, PTA has blocked websites and many social media platforms during times of political unrest. Even in recent protests that took place in Islamabad and other parts of the country, these draconian measures were taken. And now the Prevention of Electronic Crimes Act, PICA, they have been further uh, sort of strengthened to basically arrest journalists and activists for their online posts. And then surveillance is a concern. State agencies have always done it, but now that particular task is even worse, because spyware is being used to monitor activists and journalists. In India, for example, the Pegasus spyware scandal revealed that journalists, activists, and even politicians were being surveilled. And yet, despite these crackdowns, digital resistance persists. In Pakistan, Twitter, or X, as you know, has been a victim of government manipulation to, uh, you know, uh, decrease its reach. But then people have resorted to use of VPNs and elsewhere encrypted messaging apps and creative strategies like satire to evade detection have been used, or are being used as well. But while we talk about how powerful social media is, we should also talk about the ethics of online advocacy. Media has given rise to cancel culture, where individuals are targeted based on unverified allegations. False accusations on social media, even in Pakistan, have led to public shaming, job losses, even violence. In India, in US, in Brazil, all of this is creating a bit of a problem. So it is a world which is changing very rapidly, and I think keeping up with it and responding to it is the best way. Not muzzling it, not taking it as a threat, but taking it as an opportunity to open up spaces in public information. And I think in Pakistan, what we really have to invest is, as I mentioned earlier, media literacy, responsible use, more avenues for fact checking. And for all of you, I mean, all of us have this task to keep on telling others how to uh, verify facts, receive from some facts, or semi facts, or half truths received from social media. And I think that is something that is a public sort of commitment that we all must adhere to. Because remember that in Pakistan, false blasphemy accusations spread through WhatsApp have led to mob violence. Anti minority rhetoric on Facebook and Twitter has been causing havoc in Pakistan and in our neighboring India as well. So I think lastly, I would like to speak a bit about these big tech bros, now they're called, all these big technology companies. Now, their regulation and accountability is also a big, big issue. I mean, Europe is taking some measures to hold, Google and Meta and others to account. In the US, it's somewhat more lax. In Pakistan, of course, the government or sections of government or the state would like to ban YouTube or other such platforms. But the answer, once again, is that how do we regulate these big technology companies? And I think that is the conversation for the future that we have to sort of engage and interrogate in the coming years. And I guess you all will be at the forefront of not only upholding facts, truth, correct information, but also your own commitment to a more democratic, a more a freer Pakistan, which also respects both privacy rights and free speech. I think I've taken a lot of your time, and I wish you the very best. And once again, I thank the organizers for having me here. Goodbye.